When does a person know that the thing that they're trying is not working out and they definitely should abandon ship in your viewpoint?
I would say never.
Mm.
When they stop breathing, that's just it. It's not, like I said before, it's not about the money. People made money on all type of stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Pet rocks. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
So when you really,
Legit a thing. I don't know if y'all in the chat remember pet rocks.
the invisible dog, it was a stick with a round circle. People walked around with the invisible dog, and people brought that million times over. So it's nothing that doesn't make money.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about the money. You got an idea, you got a way to market it, and you learn how to do that.
Yeah.
I think it's going to work. You know, it's like Thomas Edison, the whole 2,000 tries and all of that. He failed 2,000 times. He just learned 2,000 ways it don't work.
So like, let's say, for example, let's say I was doing a podcast, right? My podcast never got over 100 subscribers in 10 years.
Right.
There has to be a breaking point somewhere, right?
What's the difference between you and somebody who did succeed?
I'll introduce a thought. If you're doing something and you're really giving it your all in that thing, and this is something you're passionate about, but you aren't seeing any amount of growth, hitting no type of progression that is indicative of you being able to actually make money off of that and live off of that, if that's your goal, if it's your goal to do it to make money, live off of, if you aren't even hitting a quarter of a goal that you set, that may be a strong indicator that maybe you just don't have the skills to cut it.
I wouldn't say that. I'm thinking the Michael Jordan thing. He failed on this way of becoming, like, he didn't make the high school team and all that other stuff, right? Where he became the greatest player, or one of the greatest players. But can somebody in a wheelchair become the next Michael Jordan? Yes, you got the Special Olympics. Right? So there's nothing that can stop you.
Yeah.
You know, so I would say, if you, whatever you are doing and you are failing at it, do something different. Don't change your mind on what you're doing, like far as like you want to become a podcast host or whatever. Whatever you're doing to market the podcast, the topics you're talking about, whatever it is, you know, change the way you're doing a podcast into something successful. When I first became a DJ in Chicago, it pretty much was a success story. I didn't see a whole lot of failure, right? I mean, I was throwing parties that 10 people showed up at times, but then from me just passing out those flyers, people thought I was famous. They just didn't show up to the party, you know? So I had a name out there. But, you know, I was DJing private parties, and that's why I made my success at. I'm still not a promoter, still not good at it, but I can get the private sector. Okay, fine. I come to Florida. It's a bit different, right? So I haven't been getting those private parties, but I try to take the same methods that I did in Chicago to Florida.
Yeah.
Florida and Chicago, two different cities. I had to learn with Florida how they do things in order for me to get parties here. And now I'm starting to do things different, things starting to turn around. I wouldn't even say the 10 years that I've been here that it hasn't been like Chicago was a total failure. It just took me 10 years to figure out how to do it the correct way. And during that time, it wasn't like this flop. You know, I have been mingling and learning this, that, and the other. That was just a 10-year baby.
Yeah.
That's just really what it is. Baby born, baby going.
In that case right there, like you said, the 10-year of like, man, nothing's really popped here like it has in Chicago.
Right.
But that's also coming from you knowing that you have the skills and to make it happen once something does happen. I'm talking if a person never had any type of success in it. Like let's say you decided 10 years ago, I want to start DJing. Right. And you were here in the Florida market and you had never had your success before. Would you, like, if you were brand new to it, would you still continue in pushing for it, and never having no kind of pop or nothing?
Yeah, because that's kind of how it was in Chicago. Because it took from the age of 12, I think, it took about 2 to 3 years for me to really have that $20 success. You know what I'm saying? After somebody literally telling me, no, man, this kind of sucks. You just need to stick to the computers. You know? So it took that. But I was like, no, because my thing, I was watching DJs. What really got me, I want to be a DJ,
Cool.
is when I saw LL Cool J's DJ, and they had DJs and videos with Flavor Flav and all of that. And I was like, I want to do that, right? I'm like, but the guy doing it, he human too. You know, so he's not a superhero that he can do it and I can't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's the way I look at anything. Like, you can learn. Let's take it somewhere else. Being a singer. It takes a literal skill where you may not be able to learn. Yeah, Michael Jackson, it is time to try to figure it out himself. Jackson 5 and Joe Jackson, the whole thing, and them playing little small clubs, and they finally got to the Apollo and all that after 7 years.
Yeah.
You know, of doing it. At what point, and he had a bunch of kids, he had to go take care of. At what point should he have stopped? He shouldn't have, and he didn't. It didn't look at the result, you know. But Michael Jackson is a phenomenal singer. Can I sing like Mike? No. There are artists out there that do not sing like Mike. They had success, but where do you judge success? Like, what do you measure your success at? So there's your one song.
Yeah, your classic one-hit wonders.
Yeah, your one-hit wonders. Right? So you got those. They had a total success on the corniest song, right? I'm just gonna put the example out.
A lot of those.
Whoop, there it is. Like Team back again, right? Corniest song ever, but it had success. To this day, that song is still being played. What do they do all that time? How do you plan in commercials and stuff like that? They might not have been that Michael Jackson success in music, but they still made a career out of it. You have to shift. That's just really what it is. So the person who wanted, like your example with the podcast, you know, you might not be the Oprah Winfrey of podcasts, you know, of hosting shows. And you might not even be Montel Williams or Arsenio Hall, you know?
Not Montel.
But if you can make a living at what you're doing, can feed your family at what you're doing, it might not be that superstar success. It's enough that you can make a career out of it. And you might have your podcast that might not be the superstar success like a Shay Shay or anything like that, but it might be enough to where now you can teach somebody else how to do it. Make money that way. Teach them how to get started. You can make money that way. It's just all about shifting it to where it is successful.
Yeah.
In some kind of way.
And I will agree with that. Even if you don't have the talent to do it yourself, like you can, information, like that's the biggest ways that people are making money now. The course world, people, no matter where you are on earth, you are always at least 2 steps in front of somebody else who's brand new in it, or somebody who's been doing it but hasn't figured out your stuff. That's the premise. Step into the spiritual world a little bit. Discipleship. It doesn't take someone who's a pastor to be able to sit down with a person who's been going to church for 20 years. You could be someone that if you figured out a way to calm your life and make time to be with God versus someone because they've been in it for 20 years and now they've gotten so busy with life that they forgot how to calm their life. That's a skill set that you can, even if you've only been doing it for 6 months,